Hey.
Hey. I'm just curious about what you think the idea is about even having this human experience and this brain that is so prone in thinking in duality.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why that's appeared. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
It
kind of seems a bit silly, no?
Yeah, it is a bit silly.
Yeah.
And it's also scary and crazy and all different things, but yeah. But I don't know why it's done that, but it's done it. And as you begin to rest more and more in who you are, you'll feel completely comfortable with that and it will feel like it makes sense. Even though it doesn't really make sense, but there will be a part of you that knows that it's creating. Like in a way, like it's the same when you're lost in creating absolute, like art, if any of you are artists. Like, often we're creating art in order to sell it and to make money, but sometimes we just create it for no reason at all. Like, absolutely, and it's just in the creativity. So if there was going to be any answer, I would presume it's about the creativity. But I don't know. But it becomes... The problem with meaning and purpose is that when you challenge that on the human level, you want a purpose on the absolute level to make it better, because our identity is totally interwoven with purpose.
Really abundant, and can you say something about how can we be more, stop worrying about this money thing?
Yeah.
And I really want to create art, and I don't worry about money, and I don't create anything good if I do think about money.
Yeah. So I'll just say something about words first. Like, when I used to live in Australia, something that I found really beautiful was that the Aboriginal people of the particular area that I lived...
I also lived in Australia.
You did? Yeah. In Western Australia, where were...
No, in South Australia.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And Central, and I lived there.
It's super beautiful.
Me too.
So, one thing that I learned there, and I'm sure a lot of people know this, is that the Aboriginal people tended to learn their environment through song. And it wasn't until I reflected on that, because I thought that's so beautiful, I thought, why don't I come from a society that knows their environment through song? Like, can you imagine knowing like maps and distance through song? Like, that's so beautiful. And then I thought, but we just do it differently. We know our environment through stories, and stories are magical and wonderful. It's just that I always presumed that stories were true, and I didn't see them as that they're fiction. They're something that's just appointed to help guide us somewhere. They're not true. So that was something that really struck me when you talked about art and poetry, is that even in this talk, in a way you could say it's art, because it is just pointing at something else. It's never really saying anything. We can never really say anything. We think we can, but we can't. And our culture, like we sometimes are down on like European culture, our culture teaches and educates through storytelling, and we forget that we're storytellers. And we make it so serious and so academic, but really it's all about stories. And play is about creating stories. So it's really beautiful the way that we communicate. But it's never fact. We always take what we say to be fact and real. Like even the story of us, and then we believe the story of us is real. But it's always changing and it's not fact. So back to money and creating art. And yes, I do think that eventually we'll be in a society that's just based on trust. It won't even be an activity of trust. It will just be the way it is. So money, it's not so simple for me to do it too quickly. So money is a human thing, and it will be an imbalance in the chakra area. So you will have an association with money that you don't deserve it, or that money is evil or money is bad. Whereas money is really an exchange that's happening. So you give me something and then I give you something in return, but it's just like an IOU. So rather than me having to give you like a bag of rice, I can give you an IOU and we can swap money for things. It's not a bad, evil thing. It's become bad and evil because it's been associated with power and power abuse. So it's normally when we have money issues, it's because we hate money. Because we've been hurt by money, and it's just making friends with money again. But it's quite a deep conditioning because we associate it with authority and things being taken away from you and power control over you. And it's just seeing that you are allowed to receive energy for what you do. You are worthy of receiving energy for what you do. And money is simply energy. And I do think that things come to you through the rules of law of attraction. It's totally impersonal. It's not you doing it. But if you dislike money and you hate money, then you will push it away. You've got to fall in love with money. Like, I know that sounds really like unspiritual, but it's part of our society. It's part of our culture. And the more that you dislike it, the more you'll push it away. Like, it's not evil in itself. Like, if you look up the philosophy of money, like in the beginning it was a sweet gesture. It became evil by abuse from powers, from higher powers, and from people that took advantage of other people. And you just have to separate that fear of that abuse from the money itself and see that actually what we're doing is we're exchanging energy, and that when somebody gives you money, they're thanking you. They're saying thank you for your gifts, and that's really beautiful. And that I owe you. Like, thank you for your gifts, I owe you, I'm here, I owe you. I think they used to be called IOUs, I don't know, the history of money. So I can't go into that deep with you. If I worked with you one-on-one, then I would go into the chakras. So money can sometimes be solar plexus, sacral, or heart area, dependent on the way that you associate with it. But I think we're coming to the end, so I can't really go too far. But if I were to work with you one-on-one, or if we had more time, then I would encourage you to investigate your opinions about money. So I wouldn't investigate you to think about art. I would investigate what you feel about receiving money and your relationship to money and how that makes your body feel. Like if somebody gave you lots of money, or if somebody takes money away from you.
You want me to answer it now?
No, we haven't really got time now. But that's what I would encourage you to investigate. And if you come back tomorrow, I think I'm doing a talk, then we can maybe look at it then, if it still comes up and it's still there.
I'm in a much better flow now than I've been in a long time.
Oh, nice. That's great.
Thank you.
Oh, pleasure. I think it's maybe time. Like, I don't want to push it with anybody. It's a lot to take an hour and a half of talking. I love it, but I think the room's halved since I started talking. Yeah, and you're welcome to come back tomorrow. I also do online talks twice a week on YouTube. It's free, you don't have to pay, and you can interact with me and ask me questions. And I love doing that, and you can watch from anywhere.
What's the name of your channel?
Just my name, Lisa Cairns. So you can just look it up and find it. I just really love talking, and I've done this for so many years. There's a lot on the internet, you'll be shocked. I've done it. I've done it since I was 30, I'm now nearly 40. So that's a lot of speaking twice a week. And now somebody's editing it into little clips, so there's just like infinite amounts on there. Yeah.
Did you meet Ramesh?
Yeah, I did meet, I spent time in India with Ramesh. Yeah. You met him?
I've
No.
heard about it.
Yeah.
I have some friends who met him.
Yeah. Nice, thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the festival. And I like this.